All right.
Right.
Nice. So as Mr. Gordon would have mentioned, um, there is a spiritual element to it. So for me, in the mental health field, when I'm dealing with clients, I not only deal with the mental or emotional things that will show up, but I also deal with the spiritual aspect as well. The way how I deal with the spiritual aspect is that I incorporate what we call deep breathing exercise. This helps not only with releasing the stored trauma in the body, but it also has the spiritual element as well, with the breath, breathing out certain things out of the body. All right. And I also would like us to, as a community, a group, to really, in regards to men being molested. Now, I don't really deal with men who has been sexually assaulted, but based on my experience and observations, what the gentleman would have mentioned in the post, where societal, well, with society, persons tend to glorify being sexually molested by a female as something that is good. And I want to bring in this or link it to what we would have experienced as enslaved. It's what you call a generational traumatic thing that's going there, where it would have been seen from before that the more women that you would have inbred, you will be the buck, the man. You are the man of everything. And you don't have any sort of responsibility towards the family. And that is one aspect of why the mentality is with persons who have been struggling to express to people around them that they have been molested. They have to face that mindset where um the more women you impregnate, the more women you sleep with, you're a man. So they have to fight with that and struggle against that. So I will encourage us as a society to change that mentality, right? Because when someone is affected in this way, it is a stripping of their control, is a stripping of their power, because literally they feel helpless and defenseless when this act is being done towards them, right? So that is where I will stop for now. And I don't know if you have any additional question to ask.
I'm going to go over to Reverend Samuel, and then I'm going to ask some questions, which is going to involve Mr. Matthew from a teacher's perspective.
Um, uh, as I've indicated before, that a lot of times persons don't seek help because of fear, because of shame. And I've had occasions to deal with young boys, um, as young as 9, 10, that was molested by somebody that the family trusted. His mom had died and entrusted him to the care of a godfather who molested him for a while. And he was struggling quite a bit, but he found somebody who believed him and who brought him for help. And I saw him the other day. I was just good to see me, came and he hugged me. And it was just good to see me because I know how much he was struggling as a teenager. And now as a young adult that he's doing well. So we have quite a bit of that. And then there was another young man who he came forward because his mom asked him to come, but he didn't want to go through with the counseling. But I could see how that rape had traumatized him, and he never came back. But he's a young man that I keep praying for, praying that somehow that he would find the courage to find help, if not with me, with someone else. Because in talking to him and looking at him with, the vacant eyes, and, it was just, it does something to you sometimes to see some of these young men. So it's not just the ladies that or the girls that have the difficulty in speaking, but our young men. And a lot of times it's harder for them because people will call them derogatory names if they come forward to talk. But one of the things that we have to do is just to keep the conversation open, and whenever they talk, appear to be non-judgmental. Heard a few of us say that we are Christians, and I have been for most of my life. And but we have to create a safe space for them, that when they come to us, that they know that they're not finding condemnation. I tell people all the time, I'm not the Holy Spirit. It's not my job to condemn. The Holy Spirit will do his work in condemning. In talking to them, I would, as you said, involve faith, yes, but I'll ask persons permission. Sometimes I would say, no, my faith helped me in this situation. Would you mind if I share with you how my faith helped? If it's a no, it's a no, and we move on. If it's a yes, I can show them how my faith helps. But we need to be more open in sense of giving them that sense of security, that knowing that they will not be condemned, because believe it or not, most of the persons that we talk to, if not all, have a sense of self-blame. That it's me. Even if they're small, and some of them don't even understand what has happened, but it's me. My first encounter in dealing with sexual abuse, I don't know if I was naive or what, but it was years ago, and I was a social worker. And I've never forgotten. It was a 3-year-old, 3 years, that the mom's boyfriend had interfered with, and she defended him. And I remember I had my great niece looking after, because her mom had gone to the States to study. So she was with me. And when I went home the afternoon, I lifted her up, and I could not put her down. She was 3. And all I could think of, how could somebody be so cruel to interfere with a 3-year-old? And how could a mother be so cruel as to be standing up? I cooked with her on my hip. I did everything with that child on my hip for the whole evening. I could not put her down because I just could not understand how somebody's heart could be so wicked. And so we don't need to bury our heads in the sand. A lot of abuse is happening, whether it's verbal, physical, financial, or sexual. It's happening in our societies, and we need to talk about it in our churches, in our youth groups. And as I said, very important that people feel that they can come and talk, and that there'll be a safe space for them to talk.